and looking at site visits and making those thorough and consistent so everyone's held to a similar standard. We're working with our Manage My Market to make it not only user-friendly, but helping us get the information to limit the number of times we need to bother people for information. We have the bulk handing grant that was a great success last year. We're continuing to survey our customers and then revisiting our resale policy as well, as you saw in our recommendations. I won't read all of these. I know Kathleen's going to talk about these coming up soon, just the recommendations that our commission came up with this year. So there's a number of them that we were cleaning up the language, trying to make our policy manual a little bit more user-friendly or reader-friendly, and cleaning up the process so it's streamlined for our vendors to apply and understand what rules to follow or what kind of guidelines we enforce. And then upcoming for 2014 and 2015, a goal as our commission is to have consumer and vendor forums to help inform our commission's discussion and recommendations. We have noticed that there's a lot of opinions and a lot of enthusiasm for the market, and we want to make it easier for the community and vendors to use the commission as a resource to try and make concise recommendations to to make public comment more useful in the commission meetings. We also want to explore the possibilities for a volunteer group to help support the market, and we'll continue to review the policies to make sure that they fit with the community council and the common practices that we see nationwide. And we want to increase our outreach via social media. We have a pretty large following, and we want to be more targeted in how we talk to our community members who already love the market and getting them more engaged with it. We will continue to discuss the 4th Street expansion that has been brought to the commission. We want to work on defining vendor, as was recommended by some vendors at the admin meeting, and talking about what is local, which is a much larger conversation than we can talk about this evening. So those are just a few of the highlights that we hope to hit in the next year. Overall, as a commission, I think we just want to be more proactive. We want to hear from people as we're making decisions, as we're making recommendations. And so a big focus in the upcoming year is more communication out and more communication coming into the commission to use it as a really successful conduit to City Council and to Kathleen. And I'm open to any questions.
Thank you, Aaron. Council, have any questions for Aaron? Walter?
Yes, ma'am. You mentioned the homecoming parade.
Yeah.
After the fact, how did that work out? And you may want to just recap for people very briefly what the issue was.
Sure. There was a conversation around homecoming this past year about the parade going down Main Street and what would happen to the farmers market. In the end, it was decided that the farmers market would move back to the parking lot so the parade could remain on Main Street. We, Gina and I, and some other members of our outreach subcommittee met with Vandal Alumni Relations after homecoming, and they felt that it was a really good collaboration, and we brainstormed more ways to work together in the following year, trying to connect maybe our vendor alum members and make it more of a Vandal farmers market for that day. And so I think out of the chaos of this last year grew some good opportunities for connection, and they're really excited to try and make the most out of that Saturday, to take the opportunity of both members of the events, I suppose.
I hope that we don't end up in the, lack of a better term, Chinese fire drill at the last minute. Everybody running around trying to figure out what are we going to do, what are we going to do. So hopefully forward to that, work with the UI, stay in touch with the staff through Kathleen so that we don't, everybody gets so confused about what's right, what's wrong, who's impacted, who isn't impacted, and are we trying to throw U of I homecoming under the bus or something. So
Trying to keep everybody out from under the bus, I think.
Everybody happy.
Yes, and everybody happy. I think we've had some really good discussions about how to make the most of both events on the same day. Those are two big competing events, and if we can continue communications, which I think we can, I think it'll be even better than it has been in the past. So, and we will get it sooner than last time. Dan's shaking his head.
As you said in your presentation, I served as the council liaison last year. folks on the commission did a terrific job from having a farmers market advisory board for whatever number of years and going through that last year into proper commission and that will moving forward policy recommendations to change the farmers market through all the various issues. I think it was terrific to see all the great representation on the commission, I think it really helped having city supervisors how it works, the role of the commission, and how the commission should move forward. So I just think that the folks on the all of your hard work getting
One other item on your list, again, was expansion into the question of expanding into 4th Street.
Yes.
Thing I would like to caution, at the end of the market last year, a couple of Saturdays, heard that it needs to remain open. Keep that in mind when you're looking at that. Kathleen's going to say.
Kathleen's going to address you, Walter.
We certainly will not, is what she's going to say.
Well, that was a mayor staff decision to accommodate a few vendors and
If I may, and
Barry?
as long as they are movable booths, they do not violate fire code. We checked with the fire department on that. They're inconvenient. We'd like to not have them there, but it didn't violate the code. But you're absolutely right. We need to take a look at that.
Questions? Thank you, Aaron, for the very nice report. Kathleen, did you have anything else right at this moment you want to address, Kathleen? Yes.
to homecoming parade. The Moscow was actually in the parade this year. So we had 4 wagons. We had a carrot, a pea pod. Amanda was the strawberry, and we had a corn towing Tonemaker's apples. So that was a major accomplishment.
Thank you, Kathleen.